What would you do if the devil came to you and told you that he could give you everything that you have ever wanted, but that in return you had to worship him, denounce God, or sacrifice someone that you love? Would you do it? The concept of selling your soul is known as making a Faustian bargain. The German legend of Doctor Faust says that he made a pact with a demon that was named Mephistopheles at a crossroads, and he exchanged his soul for unlimited knowledge and for material gain. You can't actually sell your soul because it belongs to God, but that doesn't mean that someone can't pledge their allegiance to Satan, denounce God, or summon an evil spirit in the hopes of receiving whatever it is that they want. What is the easiest way to do this right now? In my opinion, I think it is the entertainment industry and social media. Who is the most vulnerable? Young people. Young people that want to be famous, and the young fans that practically worship them. The devil and Hollywood know that children shape the future, and that many of them actually want to go to hell because they think it's a fun place. Some of them really do believe that it's a never-ending party. Parents are the gatekeepers. So think about all of that as you see the images and clips that I will be sharing. Dave Chappelle did say that Hollywood can drive you insane.
There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. People are just like, oh, that's funny. It's, we're making fun. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that. But either way, the things that you take in, that they're feeding you, those things affect you, whether you realize it in the moment or not. This industry, for what it is, and everything that people look to and praise, it's not important. I'm doing God's work now, and I'm not doing anything else.
Messages can only penetrate our deeper consciousness when they are repeated. Now let's talk about Doja Cat. She went from a cow to a demon. Her fans say that she's just trolling Christians or that she's doing it for attention.
That's where the whole "is she a Satan worshiper" thing starts.
I'm wearing red. Wearing red is a crime. I'm not religious, and so people aren't gonna like that because I wear a cross. But I'm gonna do what I want.
It's obvious that a lot of her images on Instagram are definitely meant to get a reaction.
Well, some people were saying because you shaved your eyebrows and your head. What do you mean? That you, it's because you're crazy.
But how do these images make you feel? Her video for Paint the Town Red is her response to the criticism that she received over the dark imagery that's in her videos and her social media posts. The Instagram comments on her posts are pretty interesting. A lot of people are concerned, but she just mocks them and she constantly insults her own supporters. Doja has said that not being accepted was a fear that she used to have, but she no longer cares about satisfying others. And maybe I'm thinking that her image will probably change for the better with her next album. What do you think? But this video isn't just about Doja. What I'll be talking about can be said for anyone in Hollywood that uses similar imagery. It's not about her personally. I don't know her. I actually think that she's very talented. She's also hilarious. And this post right here reminds me of MySpace and how we used to decorate our pages. However, I am staying away from her music. God has been working on me, and I am very thankful. Have you ever noticed how people look before they get to Hollywood versus how they look sometime after? It's like they're transforming attractive people into something else, into something dark.
You read the book, you'll be like, transitioning from Disney to this was easy. I don't know, getting from your 6 to your 14 seems like way harder circumstances, or being physically abused all the time seems like a much more difficult situation than paparazzi following you since you were 12. I don't know. I was still being and paparazzi were still following me. Everyone thinking they know me and talking about me, but having no idea the type of mistreatment that I was still dealing with at that time, that everyone around me saw and did nothing.
Celebrities are idolized and they become role models, and they influence their fans whether they want that responsibility or not. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to show several clips, with one of the most powerful being a video where a man talks about how smoking weed, Jay-Z, and rap music opened him up to demons. It's not too surprising because Jay-Z's wife refers to God as Father, Mother God, and Jay-Z says that Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. In Doja's video, Demons, Doja is a demon, and she's haunting a house during a thunderstorm. The video pays homage to classic horror movies. In the video, Christina Ricci wakes up to a red-eyed demon on her ceiling. Next, you see a little boy in bed sleeping. Then you see this famous 1781 painting. It's called The Nightmare, and it shows a woman that's in deep sleep, and there is an incubus that's sitting on her chest. An incubus is a male demonic spirit that haunts women when they sleep, and it may even have sex with them. Some believe that the painting represents sleep paralysis. And here we have Doja recreating the painting. This isn't in her music video. It's in the marketing material for her Scarlet tour. Now, back to the music video. Here we have Doja tormenting Christina Ricci some more. Then Doja takes a bath in black goo, and then you see a large, all-seeing eye on the back of her head. Then you see a demonic hand grab her, and then she becomes possessed. Then you see Christina Ricci grab a camera, and then she goes to the attic, and this is where she sees Doja, and she is surrounded by goats, and she's sitting at a typewriter. Next, there are two children that are staring at a screen that's displaying static, just like in Poltergeist. And at one point, you just see the children, but after a quick flash of light, you can see the demon Doja standing off to the side. She looks like she really wants to get to those children. Christina Ricci is then dragged across the floor in classic horror movie fashion. Then you see Doja in the kitchen making a mess, and the chairs are stacked up on top of each other just like they were in Poltergeist. The family runs away from the house, and then you see Doja and her demons take it over. The next thing that I wanted to mention is about this video that Orlando Brown did, and it's where he talks about panda eyes.
Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. You basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal, you can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. The eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes. And they do this to, and it's one big society of it.
Now, panda eyes, they are also called raccoon eyes, can be a sign of abuse, but not sexual abuse alone. They're a sign of head trauma or certain cancers, but you don't get panda eyes from simply being penetrated. Panda eyes are also associated with what's known as the Black Eye or Purple Eye Club. Now, the club is allegedly for those in the upper ranks of the Illuminati, and it includes celebrities and politicians. It's also considered a conspiracy theory. Now, when it comes to Orlando Brown talking about a person becoming an animal, I don't know about that exactly, but after a little searching, I did find out about Kundalini yoga. With yoga, you are actually opening yourself up to demons.
The roots of yoga are intrinsically pagan. Yoga was created for all intents and purposes of false god worship. That's why it was created. That's what the poses were curated for. They were curated to honor false gods, and not only honor false gods, but invite and to yoke with false gods. And so when you are participating in these practices, you are yoking with those same deities that the yoga practice, again, was curated for.
This type of yoga is represented symbolically as a serpent coiled at the base of the spine. This type of practice can be a traumatic experience, and it's been linked to brainwashing, child abuse, sexual assault, etc. During the practice, or awakening as it's called, when the energy is released, the person may experience a break from reality. Their old way of life is gone, The person can have a personal crisis, a change of opinion. Their tastes, their likes, and their dislikes will be different. They may start to dress differently or even change their political and religious opinions. There's an entity within the person's spirit that overpowers them psychologically. This practice is also said to be very, very heavy on the central nervous system. I wanted to share something with you that I read about someone's experience with the devil. It's a YouTube comment. Take it from someone who spoke with him. He has an extremely attractive voice, and the way that he speaks is very soothing and very pleasant. In fact, he makes you feel that you can pretty much tell him anything, then he's actually a friend, as crazy as that may sound. He's very sexually oriented, and I think that is a big part of why he feels addicting. I know it sounds crazy, but you're just going to have to take my word for it. The fact is, no one, and I mean no one, there's not a single person on this earth who can resist him without Jesus. You don't get it and you don't understand until you see behind the closed doors of this world. He's the best liar I've ever heard in my entire life, to the point where I still question if what he said to me was true. He twists things to perfection so that you will always question whatever he told you about for the rest of your life. The one thing that he was allowed to keep from God was how beautiful he is. And that is what makes him so hard to resist. And I'm telling you, there is not a single soul on this earth that would be able to resist him without Jesus. If you don't have the Holy Spirit within your heart, there's no way. You will be his victim. I promise. I swear. I guarantee. You won't realize just exactly what I'm talking about until it's too late. They also said that the devil knew everything about them. They said he reminded me of things that I had forgotten. He told me of things that I had no way of knowing about. He revealed many things that other people did when I wasn't around. That's what I mean. You know what the craziest part is? I heard Lucifer's voice with my ears, like a real person standing right next to you talking. That's what I heard with my own ears. But God, his voice was such a soft whisper that I literally never heard it, but I knew it in my heart. The devil may yell as loud as he can and try to make you change your mind, but God only whispers, and it changes your very soul. And that's how powerful the Holy Spirit is. He whispers to you, and you hear him within your heart. And one thing for sure, he might convince you that he cares about you and that he is actually good. But I'm telling you, no one is more evil than Lucifer himself. And it's so disturbing that you will think about it for the rest of your life. Just like how we can't fathom how incredible and glorious and good and loving that God is. We can't fathom how evil, malicious, and hateful Satan is.
I was 18 years old, 2006. I was at Wayne State University, and things started happening to me as I would smoke weed. So the first time we were all in my dorm room after we had smoked, and we would play music. And when it was playing while I was high, I started to dance uncontrollably, and I did not have say on what I would do. I was possessed. And I was telling my friends, I don't have control of my body. I'm like, hey, cut the music off. And I got control of my body again. I thought, I brushed it off like that was a crazy experience, but we smoked again. And this time, my friend, he starts to dance and he can't stop dancing. And he's saying, Miles, I know what you're talking about. I can't stop dancing. I went and I cut the music off. Now, mind you, when we would dance, the people that were around us would become entranced because it wasn't us. There was the presence of seducing spirits that would entrance people. This last time we smoked, we decided to go over my friend's apartment, and I call this the straw that broke the camel's back. They had 2 or 3 blunts. I would take a couple hits and I'll be done. All of a sudden, my eyes went out of focus. They blurred and I couldn't see. And then when they refocused, I had 20/20 vision, and I wear glasses, and I could zoom in and zoom out. And I looked down at the carpet, and the carpet started swirling, and then it changed into this beautiful portrait. It looked like it was like an ancient art or something like that. And a voice came to my ear and said, you can draw it and you can be rich and famous. You can trace this. All you have to do is get high every day. whatever this voice is, it made me deeply afraid because I haven't drawn or told anybody that I could draw. And I have a love for drawing in such a long time that it made me understand that something has been studying me for a long time and has been waiting for the perfect opportunity to present this, because it was a real temptation. It was a real temptation. That's the thing about that word, is that it's not going to be something that you don't desire. I realized that. I was like, whatever this is, I don't want no parts, because what's the price? And so I'm still at the mercy of the marijuana because I can't move. My body is incapacitated. So I'm like stuck. But they put on Jay-Z Fade to Black. And so my eyes had blurred again. And I told you I had 20/20. They had blurred after the 20/20. And when they focused again, it was like I went past the natural and I was able to see spiritual things. I could see spirits. He started off and the camera was facing the sky, and it was talking about, I got to do this show, a night when the stars is aligned. And before I do that, I got to get everybody up to my level. And literally like audible voices. And I was saying it out loud. I was like, that's witchcraft. I was like, wait, how do I know that? I was like, whatever, I'm tripping, I'm high. The DVD of Jay-Z Fade to Black consists of him showing his performance at Madison Square Garden about his retirement with the Black Album. And it was showing the process of him making the album. When the camera showed Jay-Z, he had a snake inside of him. I'm talking about, it was like this big, and the snake was colorful, and it wasn't saying anything or doing anything, but it was just, he was walking around and I could see the snake inside of him, and the tail was moving a little bit. It was like swaying like this. You could see him like fast forward, you could see him going like this through songs. He's trying to find the right song. He's narrating on the DVD saying, you got to find the right song. He said, if you get the right artist with the right song and you crack the door open, he said, God will come in.
Can't explain it to y'all, man. I just comes out there for me. I start mumbling. They say you put the right artist with the right track in the studio, the door crack, and let God in.
He was lying, because it wasn't the God of the Bible. It was the God of this world, which is Satan. He found the song, and the snake that I was watching the whole time, because I was looking to see if anybody else saw it, but it was just me. The snake started speaking like at a real fast rate. It started going like this, like real fast. And he looked like he was possessed, and he started mumbling, and he went in the studio and he did the song after that happened. What was happening to me at that time was I was realizing that Satan is real. I felt this dread, this fear, this weight of my condition. If I was to die right now, where I would go, and it was not heaven. I'm watching the DVD, but I want to get away from it as far as possible. And he said, everybody get your hands up. And I felt this force come under my hand and try to lift my hands up. And something inside of me snapped. And I went like, no, it's only one God. And I was like, wait. And when I looked to my left, all of my friends had their hands up. They looked like zombies. It was the most frightening thing you ever want to see. Everybody's face was pale. It was a whole bunch of weed smoke. But in the midst of that weed smoke, I saw other spirits there. I saw that we weren't alone. I saw that, man, they were leading us to hell. So we finally get ready to go. The album is finally done. I even saw Kanye West, how he came out with this song called Lucifer, Son of the Morning. It was on the documentary. I'm trying to leave, and I just keep seeing things that are confirming how real Satan is. Jay-Z went and he was rapping, and he came outside and scratched his head. And he said, word to my mother, I never read the Bible in my life. And I understood that Satan knows the word of God. I understood that he could possess somebody and that they could potentially speak something that they didn't learn themselves because they're being possessed by a spirit that knows everything that's going through their mouth. And he said, I wet y'all all with the holy water, and when I perish, the meek shall inherit the earth. Until that time, it's on and popping. Church. I understood that he meant the devil knows he's going to perish. But until that time, I'm going to get as many people to go to hell. These rap artists, these people that do these songs under the influence of the devil are waging war against the saints of God, against humanity. So he wages war through music, through temptations, through things that will keep you doing what will get you to hell. And so the reason why Jesus says there's only one way to get to heaven is because there was only one way to redeem us. It was with great difficulty that he saved humanity. The devil really waged war against us. It's beyond what we can understand. We get in the car, and I didn't want to hear no Jay-Z, but that's all we listened to. It was like the very thing that I liked. It was torment to hear it again. But the CD started skipping. And when the CD started skipping, the words that were skipping were making sentences talking to me. I cannot remember everything it was saying, but I was trying to block it out. It was demonic. You could feel it. It was tangible. I was done.